So, Rishi Outpost Podcast Episode 1. Today we're talking about the Clone Wars movie. We have Casey.
What's up?
And William.
What's up, guys?
William's new here. We found him off the street in the cantina.
I am, in fact.
He was wearing a Star Wars shirt.
An alcoholic street rat that loves Star Wars.
He was wearing a Star Wars shirt, so we figured that he would want to join our podcast.
Exactly.
And of course,
I just happened to see the movie.
Yeah, the 13-year-old movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
you were wearing a shirt, but
it was actually on in the bar.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it was. That's how it was.
All right, and so we're talking about the Clone Wars movie, we're also talking about the two Clone Wars episodes that chronologically lead into the movie. So that's Cat and Mouse and The Hidden Enemy. And so first, we're going to talk about recent news. In this podcast, we want to talk about the news from the recent times. So
last couple weeks.
Yeah. And so one of the things we've got was the report that Rangers of the New Republic is not going to be a thing anymore.
Development has stopped.
So what do you guys think about that?
I can't say I'm that disappointed. We knew nothing about it.
That's the thing. We knew nothing about it, but it would have been really awesome to have seen a bunch of different troopers, possibly, especially with the rebellion stuff. And I don't know. Also, if we could have seen flashbacks of Cara Dune as a drop trooper or anything, that would have been awesome. But obviously, that is.
We don't say that name in this house.
Obviously, we cannot have that anymore. So. It's a little bit difficult, but I think there would have been obviously there would have been some amazing stuff in there and everything. But
yeah, no, I agree. I think it could have been cool, but like Casey said, we didn't know anything about it, and it was definitely it was probably the live action one that I think fewest people cared about. I know people I talked to who are casual fans, they all pointed to that one as. Where what is that going to be about? That doesn't sound that interesting. I mean, I thought it sounded interesting, but if we were going to lose one, I'd say that's probably okay. And I bet that whatever important pieces were in that will be folded into the Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett and Ahsoka and whatever. I think it'll work out just fine.
I don't think it'll mess up their overall plans.
No,
what was going on.
I agree. Yeah. I agree.
I do wonder how. Because it was going to be centered around Cara Dune, obviously. I wonder how that's going to be affected in The Mandalorian and everything, because it was kind of his entrance for the New Republic and how he worked with her and everything, and it'll be interesting to see how they cut her out, basically.
Or even how big the New Republic will be for The Mandalorian.
Exactly.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see.
Shame. Cool. Hopefully we get to see more Trapper Wolf.
Yes.
Yeah. True. But okay, so then another piece of news is from recently was that Lucasfilm's website updated that Dave Filoni got a promotion. Does anyone know?
Executive creative director at Lucasfilm.
That sounds important.
That sounds incredibly important. And I think he should have it.
Yeah, I mean...
He's been really pushing lately, and a lot of, basically my favorite things come from him, but...
He's been pushing, and he's the protege of George Lucas.
Exactly.
Right.
He knows Star Wars.
Yeah, it's hard to argue that anyone understands the lore and how to tell a Star Wars story better than Dave Filoni, other than Lucas himself.
Yeah.
And so, I think
especially in show format, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
When I Clone Wars, my favorite thing, but then I don't it would be interesting to see what he would do books and comics and stuff. I don't know if he has any kind of insight on that.
Yeah, So we found out that even though the website update was recent, that he really got that promotion a year ago, which is good because that means that he's been in that role for a while. I think that what that really means, though, is kind of what we already knew, which was he's kind of heading that slate of shows that's post Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And I feel like that title is basically just what he is because he's doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would be great if one day he would be kind of overseeing all the stories, because then he could stop contradicting the comics and books, because then he would be doing the comics and books too.
Yes. It was sad.
Yeah. Well, I thought about how that could be retconned to keep most of it, but that's a conversation for another time.
Yes.
And so we found out the dates for EA Play. I think.
Yeah, it starts. It starts July 22nd, later this year. So I was like, do you think we could see like just an official announcement for Jedi Fallen Order sequel there?
Yeah, I bet we will. If they do anything with Star Wars, I mean,
July.
They don't, because EA is not involved with Lego Star Wars, are they?
No,
that's a different
that's
thing.
Warner Brothers.
They could do...
Oh, that could be a whole other thing as well,
right?
Because they're trying to find a buyer. Or someone's bought them.
Oh yeah,
Warner Brothers. So.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
But with July, I mean, that's perfect for a November release.
I think someone already bought them.
They do a trailer there too.
Although I feel like when did the first Fallen Order game get revealed? I feel like it was revealed earlier in the year than July.
That was at an EA Play, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I think it was announced the year before, and then we got like the trailer.
Yeah, the trailer wasn't so much later.
Yeah, but even then, the trailer was still like earlier in. Like I remember watching it with people freshman year, so that was like before.
Yeah.
Before we the summer of 2019, but I feel like it won't come out this year, but I bet we could see an announcement that it'll come out like next year.
Yeah.
I that could definitely be possible.
Yeah, because the way Fallen Order 1 was announced was just like they interviewed a guy. I think it was like the lead guy pretty much, but and I forget his role. And he was like just in the crowd, whatever, and they just asked him some questions, and he said, "Oh, by the way, there's going to be a new game called Jedi Fallen Order next year."
Wow.
I'm going to drop that bomb.
Yeah, that is a major bomb. Drop.
So, I mean, they could do even something like that.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Because then they said that Fallen Order was like a franchise.
Right.
So, it seems very likely, and it's already been like leaked and stuff, that there will be a sequel, but it'd be nice to have official confirmation.
Yeah. So hopefully we could get that. What other games are like out there in the rumor mill of possibly existing?
I mean, Battlefront 3 will be in the rumor mill for as long as it's not out.
Yeah. What do you think? Are there any chances that we get a Battlefront 3 announcement at EA Play?
Probably not at EA Play.
Nah.
That would be my guess, because I think DICE is still all hands on deck for Battlefield 6, even though it's probably coming out later this year.
Do we know when that game comes out?
I think later this year.
Okay.
But and I'm sure they'll want to work on some post-launch content. I don't think they'll even if it's even being worked on, it's still in the very, very, very early developmental stage, like whiteboarding ideas, basically.
Yeah, I heard that there was like the voice actors for Aiden and her father worked together, and
Del Nico, right?
Yeah. So there's that rumor that they were going to do a spin-off of Battlefront that was going to be a story, story-based game with Inferno Squad. What do you guys think about that?
Hopefully it's.
You said Inferno Squad or post the already released game?
I think the leak said it was Inferno Squad.
So they'd still be
like
Imperials?
It'd be like a prequel.
Oh,
I think a prequel, that'd be.
I would absolutely love that.
Is that what? Is that?
I don't remember.
Okay, I feel like that's what the leak said.
I would love to play just to see, because they switched in the game for I believe,
pretty early on.
Yeah, early, but it was also pivotal and completely. It was like, wow, you're destroying this.
I don't even mind that they swapped early. It's more just the advertising that it's like it's an Imperial focused story, and they had a cutscene of Aiden on Starkiller Base.
Yeah. I was thinking that I wouldn't really like the single player game with them, but when I think about it, if it was when they were Imperial, we could kind of get that story that we were sort of promised in Battlefront 2, where it was like we're actually going to see the point of view of Imperial soldiers who stay that way. I think that would be a lot of fun.
And I also think it'd be cool to see, because they're a Black Ops team and everything, and just see like what kind of missions and see maybe kind of the. You'd think they'd be sent on some messed up shit sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like some hard missions, some really difficult decisions and stuff. So I think that'd be really interesting to have to play through and see what you'd do.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be cool.
And the first like 2 or 3 levels of that game I thought were really good.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
Like the Endor and the
Endor
cruiser.
was fun.
Yeah.
I loved, personally, having to escape Bespin. There's a whole shootout scene. I loved doing that.
Yeah,
And Luke's mission was incredible.
Yeah,
the gameplay wasn't great, but the cutscenes were the best part.
The cutscenes were Luke slicing bugs. I haven't played that campaign since it came out, like 3.5 years ago. But I've replayed the Luke mission several times.
Actually, I think I last played it trying to get like the platinum trophy for the game.
Yeah.
Trying to get all the collectibles, but that wasn't very long after.
Yeah, I did that too.
I suck at video games, so I did not do that.
Yeah, he's a big loser guy when it comes to video games.
Yeah, I'm very bad.
Yeah. Okay, so with that, I think that's all the news, unless anyone came up with anything else. So then we'll go right into the first chronological episode of Clone Wars, which is Season 2, Episode 16, Cat and Mouse. And so, what are your overall thoughts on the episode? Just very broad, general opinions.
Really enjoyed the episode. I really enjoyed seeing the cloaking ship, which was awesome, and then the amount of times that ship was carried later into stories was amazing. And I love the connections that were made to it and how that just started from that one episode. I thought that was really amazing.
Yeah.
And then you really get into the minds of Anakin with Yuli and Obi-Wan, and then just this. Every time they introduce new clones, it's always exciting to see these troopers and everything, and how they interact with one another as well.
Yeah, it does Obi-Wan and Anakin's relationship really well. Even in that episode, I love when at the beginning Anakin's like he has the ships attacking, and Obi-Wan arrives, and he's like, "Of course he is, especially since I told him not to."
Yes.
It's like, yep, that nailed them perfectly.
Yeah.
And then the what is that ship called?
The Carrion Spike in Tarkin.
Yeah.
The invisible ship?
Yeah. Very unprofessional of me. I should have had that in my notes.
Ugh.
Anyway. But yeah, and then that's in the Poe Dameron comics
as well.
Later on, yeah.
Terex has it.
Yeah.
Looking it up on Wikipedia.
Yeah, I'm trying to as well right now.
No, I was asking if you were.
Yes, I am. Let's see if I can log into my fandom account.
Yeah.
If you can, I can, but...
I just got a new phone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're never going to get into any of your accounts ever again. But while you do that...
Yep.
One of the funny things with this show is that it didn't come out in order, but it wasn't like the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy where you could kind of argue that it was intentionally out of order. They just kind of came up with ideas later and were like, we should have made this, and then they do it. And so what do you guys think that this could have been a good first episode if it had come out first?
I think so. The only thing I will say that the movie has over this one in terms of watching it first is I feel like Rex's characterization is better in the movie.
Oh.
It's not that he's bad in this episode. He just doesn't...
He doesn't get much to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If I would have someone watch the movie first or Cat and Mouse first, I would every time have them watch the movie first.
Yeah.
Because I think the movie is so important on establishing what I would call the four main: Anakin, Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, and Rex.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it establishes them so perfectly, their relationships, everything.
Yeah.
It builds it all super well together. And all the major side characters, like Padme, Yoda, and Mace, and everything, Asajj,
Yeah.
they're all really built in super well in the movie, and it's a perfect base.
Mace is kind of just there, but
that's
usually what he does in the show. He's usually just kind of
he's got some hype moments.
But
and they got Samuel L. Jackson to do
and that's a good point. And then also Ahsoka obviously is
I
not
think you
in the episode yet, so that makes sense. Yeah, I think that you would want to have these two in a sitting. I think that it's a great introduction to the look of the show and to Obi-Wan and Anakin, who are obviously two of the main characters. But yeah, it definitely doesn't give you like stuff for Ahsoka and Rex, and so yeah, that's a good point on that.
So I will.
But Anakin and Obi-Wan is great.
Yeah, and I mean, I think if it had like say they had aired like these two episodes and then the movie like all as one chunk thing, that would have been really cool. Because then you would have gotten all that. And the Clone Wars movie isn't that long. They honestly could have like had these two episodes like tacked onto the front.
Yeah,
you could have ended like that's like the intro.
The stealth ship, by the way, does not have a name in Clone Wars, so it's just called the stealth ship. It did not have its official name yet.
Nice, cool. So
one thing I did want to note when I was just looking through, the commander. He's a Blackout. I think I love the clone naming, and they do it so well, and how they really expand the universe by giving them all these really awesome.
I like
names.
how it was like the clone like Black Ops team, and they're so good at their job. We'd never see them again after this episode.
Yes,
I mean they're just gone. They're just like
That's how good they are.
So the new character in the episode, the new villain, Admiral Trench. What did you guys think of him?
His design was amazing.
He looks really cool for sure.
He's one of the coolest villains, I think, in the whole show.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like it would have been good if he had gotten more screen time because he's a really
and they did bring him back later, and I think they wanted that.
Yeah, well, I think they planned to.
Yeah,
because I remember when he supposedly dies at the end of this episode. I remember watching that when it happened. I was like, they're going to bring him back. Like, they talked about how he survived one ship crash. Sure. They're definitely going to bring him back. He was way too cool of a character to not do that.
He is really cool, and I love how he speaks.
Yeah, how he speaks with... Yeah, it's like... It is just very menacing. But in the right way of not, like, physical force menacing with it. That he's, like, always thinking... It's, like, kind of Thrawn...
Calculating.
Thrawn-like, in that he's... like, he always knows what you're up to.
Yes.
I would say he's like one of the most intimidating villains of the show as well, just in terms of how good he is at...
Right, because he always knows what you're doing.
Exactly.
It's definitely that Thrawn effect. Like when you read that trilogy, like the terror is that like you can't do anything without the villain knowing that's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And so... that gets to what was there anything else that you guys want to talk about in this episode?
I don't think so.
Okay, because we kind of touched on that
at
that point already. But what was your guys' favorite part of the episode?
Definitely just when they uncloak and bomb him.
Yeah.
Anakin taking over and just...
When Anakin defeating Trench was...
going off and showing Yuliar, and like, especially because they hadn't worked together that long.
Yeah.
And it's like, you just need to trust me.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to be reckless all the time. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You're just going to have to figure out how to work with that.
Yeah. I think my favorite part is when Anakin, right after he first attacks, and then they go back to being cloaked, and then Trench has them like fire the spread of lasers, and then Anakin, because he's like such a good pilot, he's able to like dodge all of it.
Yeah.
And then it's like that is such a cool moment. And then even like when you're like, oh yeah, the hero did this awesome thing and got away, and then Trench is like, but we've learned something. I just thought that was so cool. That just showed like how good of a villain he was.
The Masters at work.
Yeah, and it
was both Anakin and Trench showing like how good they are.
Exactly, because I feel like so many times, either in this goes to like any kind of story, not just Star Wars, but sometimes to establish a strong villain, they'll have the hero just do something dumb and then like the villain gets a win, or when the hero needs to win, the villain is incompetent or whatever. But this was like both of them were like
Super
being
competent.
very competent. It was really exciting.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my favorite part. So I know that 1 to 10 is arbitrary, and I don't know that any of us really like doing this, but
I don't.
the
like
people
doing this at all.
like
Well,
1 to 10.
I don't like this at all.
The people like 1 to 10 ratings.
No, I already have it rated as 1 to 7.
Well, it was in the notes, man. 1 to 10.
Griffin, you can take that one first then.
I will give this episode an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
It's a good episode.
I can go with that as well.
I feel like 7, 8, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. 7, 8, 78 out of 10.
Yeah.
Big brain.
It's that
You have to
good.
pick 7 or 8.
I'll go 7.
Ooh.
Wow.
Ooh, yeah, I'm so
He's
You're
different.
You're gonna have to leave, bro.
Yep,
4.
we're kicking you out. That was the test.
the
You
test.
failed. You don't get to be a part of the podcast.
There are only 2, so.
I give the episode 1 less point.
And
But it's
you
it's
are no
only-
longer my apprentice.
It's only because I'm comparing it to other Clone Wars stuff. Too.
Yeah, that's
That's
same,
true.
same
But
with me.
all of them are 10.
Well, no mad
No.
droids. And others. Okay, so so overall we like that episode a lot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right, so then we get to the next episode chronologically, season 1, episode 16, The Hidden Enemy.
Yeah.
So, what were your thoughts? What were you guys' overall thoughts on this episode?
Like you were talking about, we talked about this before. I loved the individuality of the clones
Yes.
and how all the naming, especially because I'm a huge action figure collector and everything.
Yeah.
They make all these different clones, and they've got all these different, they're clones, but they're also different
Right.
still.
Yeah.
And it's always really cool to see that, I think.
Mhm.
And they did it so well, and you get to see that in that episode, and you get to see these squads working together and stuff,
Yeah.
and it's really awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I pretty much the
Yeah.
exact same thing as William.
Yeah, I think that's...
He encompassed it very well.
that's kind of where I'm at. You said it perfectly.
Yeah.
So, one of the questions that I had when I was watching it was, so Ventress got Obi-Wan and Anakin to like go to
The base.
What do you think her goal was there? Do you guys think she was going to try to kill them? I mean, obviously, well, she probably was, but was that the only plan that she had, really?
I think she wanted to show off her force, and then because you also have to think how Dooku and Palpatine play into this. I'm thinking because she
Right.
left immediately after this episode to go kidnap Rada,
Right.
so they could have possibly thought, with Palpatine knowing all this knowledge, Anakin and Obi-Wan have just routed the forces on Christosis.
Right.
They are most likely the Jedi that are going to be freed up, and they're some of the best people to
Yeah.
be sent anywhere, obviously, and they're going to be sent. Dooku finds out about this. He sends Asajj, make a big show of force, show off our forces, make them think Christosis is not ready, and then you have time to go steal the Huttlet and create a whole scene.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually. I'd never thought about it like that. Very nice.
Yeah, because you got to think, because Palpatine has all this knowledge that he can give to Dooku.
Right. Yeah, he always has a plan.
Yeah.
So, did you guys like Slick as a traitor in the army?
Yeah.
I liked, and I love the naming, obviously.
Yeah,
It's really cool.
it was good.
I think I'd love to learn more, how he came to this thought.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
most clones seem fine. And you see Cut, for instance. And he was in the army, but then he got crashed.
Right.
And he fell in love with this woman and everything.
He was a deserter, not a traitor.
Yes,
Right.
he was a deserter. And this guy betrayed and got a lot of his brothers killed.
Right.
And you just want to know what pushed him so far in that direction. Was it Asajj's manipulation somehow, through the Force, through what? What? I would really like to know, how he came to this rationalization of doing all this
Yeah,
stuff.
I agree. I like the idea of a clone traitor, but I feel like it worked fine because obviously he's only in this episode, and it worked fine for a 1 episode story. But I really think there's so much to talk about with that idea that I wish this could have been later on when they had 4 episode arcs, because there's so much to be said about the clones and sort of the position in the galaxy that they're given, because they don't have a choice of if they get to fight or not, and they don't have a choice of what they
and what
get to
made
do.
him think that what in Freedom Park did he want so bad?
Right, and it's like, what experience did he have that made him want to betray the army that other clones clearly didn't feel? Because even though they don't seem to have a lot of stake in the war, they clearly have a lot of spirit in how they fight. I mean, you can tell through most of the time that they're very enthusiastic about the war. Even in like Revenge of the Sith, which we barely get anything, but even then Cody says like, leave some of the droids for me or something like that. And
they enjoy fighting too, or some of them.
Well, yeah, I mean
they don't enjoy it, but
it's what they're born to do.
Yeah,
they don't want to die, obviously,
right?
But
yeah, so I feel like I liked him, but I think we could have gotten so much more from him. And it's too bad he didn't come up later, because he lives. He just gets taken away to jail. It's too bad that he was never.
That's interesting, because like
again.
Dogma with the same kind of thing.
Yeah. Although Dogma we kind of got, like, I feel like
an ending
really,
to
we got an arc to him.
We got an arc to Dogma.
Yeah.
But it would have been interesting to see like a clone jail even. Like, they could have shown Dogma in a cell. And there could have been a cameo. You could have seen Slick.
Yeah, that would have been cool. That would have been cool.
Well, yeah. Where would they go?
They definitely have a
prison.
Clone prison facility.
Yeah.
Like how many clones would get imprisoned by other clones?
It'd be deserters.
Just 2. There were only ever 2, and we saw both of them on screen.
Because like they made it a big deal that like Slick doesn't happen really.
Right, because that was the first time that had ever happened.
Yeah,
probably.
The other question is maybe he could have just been executed.
Yeah, he might have been.
Those Kaminoans are pretty ruthless.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I wonder if they would have taken him back to Kamino to see if that was so rare.
I bet you actually also...
They might have done something with his chip.
And I bet you the Kaminoans would have requested they take him back to see how they messed up.
Yeah.
Because that would be against the Kaminoan programming, as they put it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's all interesting. One of the funny things is when they out Slick and they're kind of fighting him in the command center, there's one point where Slick is like beating up Rex, and then Cody just like punches him, and Slick just goes flying across the room, and it was like he just Hulk punched him. That was funny.
I do love that scene. Just like, oh, no ammo, Slick.
Yeah, I love when they set him up like that, and he puts the gun on the table, but it's like gun's empty, and he like shows him
exactly.
that was cool.
That was so awesome.
Also, the music in that fist fight scene was the same. Well, it's like a re-recorded version of the Coruscant chase in Attack of the Clones.
Oh, I didn't know that.
When Anakin and Obi-Wan are chasing Zam.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and that was. I loved the. I don't know what I was going to say there. I lost my thought of train.
It's okay.
Yeah. So, what was your guys' favorite part of the episode?
My favorite part, actually, is the very beginning. I love the tower scene where Anakin puts his lightsaber through and has to get to the other tower.
That's a great scene.
And they fight their way to the top. And I don't know, I always remember pausing on it and trying to count all the clones that made it out and stuff just to see. And, like, once again, seeing the squads interact and stuff, and it's really cool and everything.
Yeah, that's a great sequence there. What was your favorite part?
Honestly, it might be that fist fight, or that fight.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
That whole scene with Rex, Cody, and Slick.
Yeah, that's cool. My favorite is when they get Slick's men in the room and they're asking him like what their alibi is, because it shows how each one of them is like unique. How it's like the one guy is like he was cleaning his weapon.
He always cleans his weapon
every time.
Every mission.
Yep,
every time.
He's kind of obsessed that way.
Yep, I love that part.
Yeah.
I think that's Jester, actually.
Yeah, and then, so they had him, and then the guys went to eat. And then even, this was another thing. Who was the one who had the battle droid fingers?
That was Chopper.
Chopper. It would have been interesting to learn more about him and how, like, I wonder if he had, like, a best friend or someone who got killed, and that was why he was the one who,
you also remember his face is all messed up, too.
Yeah. And so it would be interesting to see more about him, and that he had, like, taken the battle droid fingers.
I do have to say, that scene also, it's like, he seemed like an odd man out in the squad, which is kind of weird.
He definitely did, because one of the other guys even says, like, I always knew there was something
messed up.
I think it was deficient or something, like something deficient about you. But yeah, it would have been interesting to, like, see that squad more. Yeah. And, like, because they set them all up because they have, like, their personalities all there, but, you know. Yeah. A lot of other cool stuff.
Yes.
But, yeah, I liked that a lot.
I will give an honorable mention, just the scene where Anakin, Obi-Wan, Rex, and Cody talk to Slick at the end. And, how could you betray your brothers?
Yeah.
Like, Jedi keep my brothers enslaved.
Yeah. Yeah, when I was watching that scene, this last time for this, it really made me wish we had seen more of Slick, just because I would love to see, like, more of that perspective and how he came to that. And, yeah. Very cool. So, favorite part, what would you guys give the episode out of 10?
I hate this. Why do we do this?
So, if we're doing this ranking, is it where 5 is true neutral, or is 5 like an F?
5 is true neutral.
Okay, because that makes a difference.
Yeah, it's more fun.
I agree. 5 on some scales, like, wow, you are railed.
No, it's not grading. It's an actual, like, 5 out of 10 is not that bad. 5 out of 10 is fine.
Then I would probably give it a 6. Just one less than Cat and Mouse.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say I like this episode about the same, maybe a little bit less. I'd say I'd probably give this one. I'd still give this one an 8.
Yeah, cause if we're going 5 is true news, I actually like this episode more probably.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, and so of course this episode ends with, you know, all their stuff is destroyed, and
except for the heavy
cannons.
I love the heavy cannons.
And that takes us to the Clone Wars movie. So this one is kind of interesting because this one gets some hate out there in the
for no reason
internet fandom, and some hate that I don't really feel like is deserved. I don't think William thinks it's deserved.
No, I don't.
Not in any kind of way.
What do you think, Casey? Do you think it's deserved?
Oh, are you William?
Absolutely. I think it's the worst thing to ever exist.
Oof.
No. I think it's very solid.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I really like it. I mean, obviously, we have a good amount of nostalgia for this because this came out right when we were... I mean, Casey was already into Star Wars, but
this is what got us into
William and I, this is what got us into it, and, you know, all of us were kids when this came out.
I was 8. You were 9.
I was...
Right?
Yeah, I would have been 9.
Yeah, I was 10.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Yeah, so we all have a lot of nostalgia for this movie. But, nostalgia aside, still, when I watch it, even now, I think that it's still pretty good. So, one of the notes I thought that I had down that was really funny was when Palpatine is talking to Mace, and they're talking about trying to send Jedi to get Rod of the Hutt. And Mace is like, the only Jedi we can spare are Skywalker and Kenobi, who are, like, really busy. Like, I don't know why they were like, we can spare these two.
See,
like, they're kind of in the middle of something.
They were not in the middle of something.
And then meanwhile, Mace and Plo Koon and Luminara all just standing there. Like, these are all Jedi Masters.
Plo Koon and Luminara were about to be sent on missions for sure, and Mace has got to lead the entire war effort.
But Mace gets sent on.
He goes on missions later in the show.
He does, but right now
he was like, I'm tired of being Supreme Commander. I want to do something.
I need my lightsaber in action.
Let me kill a bounty hunter or something. Yeah. And then so the Battle of Christophsis
is one of my favorite battles
in the movie is so good.
Yeah.
One of the things one of the things is they just have it's such a big scale because since it was a movie, they had like a bigger budget, and so they just put so
many clones,
so many clones and so many droids, and the atmosphere of it, like the shouting with the clones,
you feel it.
Yeah, and one of the other things that I feel like a lot of Star Wars, I feel like sometimes the characters will be like kind of casual when they're in the middle of like life and death situations. But one of the things I really like about this battle in this movie is everyone sounds like really desperate.
Yeah.
Like it feels like they're actually like fighting for their lives.
Yeah.
Where like when Obi-Wan is like yelling to Rex about like move the troops back to the heavy like that voice acting, like it doesn't just sound like they're having a day-to-day. Like it sounds like they're in a war.
You need to get.
And I feel like a lot of times in this show and other Star Wars projects, it feels kind of like this is just their day-to-day, which it is, but I like when it
sounds of desperation.
Right. That it just like it's more captivating that way.
And I don't know like what it is, but the war crimes. No,
we'll get to those later.
Get to that. The war cries are like especially good.
They are
in that battle.
Yeah, they
D.
are.
Bradley Baker's.
Yeah, he goes off.
Yeah, he does. For sure.
I don't even know like what's different about it compared to like his other
I don't know.
stuff.
I agree though. There's something different, and then the music it's very ominous and intense rather than like just like rock action or whatever, which also was fun too.
Yeah.
But once again, like for like battles, I really like when it's like it. Obviously, we know they're not going to die just because it's it is what it is. But like it feels like a intense situation, for sure.
Kevin Kiner's underrated.
Yeah, he really is. That's one of the things that's fun is that, like with Star Wars, with the main movies, you have John Williams who does the score, but the Kevin Kiner for Clone Wars and Rebels, and I don't who does the score on The Mandalorian.
Ludwig Göransson.
Yeah, he's really good.
And they all do a really good job. It's one of the, I guess like John Williams set such a high standard that Lucasfilm knows like we have to have just amazing people do the rest of this because it has to stand up.
There's like been barely any Star Wars media that I've actually disliked the music for.
Yeah, I can't think of anything that wasn't good.
Like even the video games that have original music are great.
Are good too. Yeah, for sure. And I remember one of the things that always gets stuck in my head, even when I haven't seen the Clone Wars movie for like years, will be the like that theme.
That's been in my head since we
just because it comes on at the beginning of the movie when they're at the Republic base. That gets stuck in my head all the time, even when it's been a long time since I've seen this movie. That piece is deeply ingrained in my brain somewhere.
Same for me with Ahsoka's theme, like
yeah, that's a good one.
And it's I didn't put it in the notes, so I was going to, but so and also like when the final scene of Christophsis or whatever, when Anakin tells Ahsoka like,
which is an amazing.
That you wouldn't have made it as Obi-Wan's Padawan, but you'll make it as mine.
Yeah,
the music in that scene just I think
that
that's maybe the second best use of Ahsoka's theme. I feel like
it has to be at least third for me from other things I can think of, but it was
Twilight of the Apprentice is pretty much the same thing as season 5 of Clone Wars when Ahsoka leaves.
Yeah, that's true.
So I just counted those together.
That's fair.
One thing I also want to mention, I just remember so much from the trailers. What's the plan, General?
Follow me.
Follow me.
Yeah.
So awesome. It plays Anakin so well.
Yeah, and Matt Lanter does Anakin's voice so well. I like
for not sounding like Hayden Christensen. He does a great job.
Well, that's the thing is he doesn't sound like Hayden Christensen, but he does sound like if you obviously James Earl Jones has his voice, and then they do like filters and such for Vader, but he doesn't sound that far off from it if you would imagine that without the Vader mask. And so it's like he still sounds like the Vader character, and he also just how you would imagine Anakin as a person. He just encapsulates it perfectly. Like probably even better than like Hayden Christensen's, which is, and obviously I think we all love Hayden Christensen's performance in the second two prequels. But Matt Lanter's voice is just like, it's so charismatic, which is kind of like how you kind of think of Anakin before he turns evil. Because, you know, in the OT, like, Luke thinks back, like, you know, imagines him as, like, being this, like, great man who did all these, like, good things. And you really, like, get that idea in this show.
Yeah. Should we pause for a second?
The clock. It's always on the
clock. Cocking it up.
We'll cut that part out.
Exactly.
That wasn't poggers.
That will be the very end of the. That wasn't very poggers. It'll be like the last thing you hear before it ends.
All right, so back to where we were before the clock interrupted us. Was what were we talking about? I lost my train of thought.
We're talking about Anakin.
Yes. So, yeah, Anakin's great. Yeah, the notes, they would be a lot better if other people added to them. They're not that great here, but that's okay.
Well, next time I'll add
next
to
time
when I watch the movie.
Yeah. Yep. It'll be great. It'll be great, believe me. Oh yeah, so that was one of the funny bits in the battle that I always get I'm always entertained by in Star Wars is when they shoot the cannons at the shield. Like, they already talked about that the shield is gonna stop the cannons, but then they like shoot a bunch of bolts at it anyway just to make sure.
They had to test at high power just to see maybe if they hit the same spot it would. It's
but
like think about a ship shield.
But
That's how you take them down spots.
Have you ever seen a Star Wars story where they test if the shields are working and they don't work? Well, they always work.
It was close. It was close in 0 Hour, the season 3 of Rebels finale. When they required a whole Star Destroyer to bombard the single
and that
basically
shield
busted shield.
Did it get destroyed? I haven't watched
it. Almost did.
I haven't watched
it. The shield did eventually get destroyed.
Well, yeah, but like when he was bombarding it, you can tell
he almost took it down.
Yeah, you can tell that it was on its.
Interesting.
He literally allowed it to not die.
Yeah.
Interesting. I will rewatch. I'm working on
again, that required a whole ass Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
To launch an orbital attack. Full orbital bombardment onto a single shield generator that was already like pretty old and like
destroyed.
Yeah.
It was messed up. Sabine basically attached it together through sheer force.
Well, sadly for the Republic, Dooku spared no expense with the shield.
Yes.
I also like when Anakin and Ahsoka are crawling under the box or whatever that is, and they're sneaking under the droid lines, and Ahsoka's like, we should fight these guys. I'm just like, based Ahsoka, like, no, the plan is not to sneak through. The plan is me and Anakin are just gonna kill all of the droids. We don't even need the cannons. We don't need Obi-Wan. We don't need the clones. Just us two will just kill all of the droids. And then she calls Anakin's plan stupid. This is what happens when you recruit 14-year-old child soldiers.
Whoa.
I'm just saying, Ahsoka and all the clones are all child soldiers. The clones are 10 years old, but child soldiers. Just saying. That's a whole.
They're not biologically 10 years old.
No, but they're literally 10 years old.
Literally, they're 10 years old, but they're not biologically 10 years old.
Well, it's weird because
and their brains aren't 10 years old.
Well, their brains are 10 years old. I mean, they are.
Well, physically...
They don't have the same brains as a 10-year-old who doesn't have growth accelerations, but their brains are still 10 years old.
So, yeah, they've only existed for 10 years.
Right.
But they're not 10 years old.
Yeah.
It's different.
It is different, but it's still sketchy. It's a gray area. All the Jedi are actually gray Jedi because they use child soldiers. But they're only half child soldiers.
Child soldiers.
Oh, that was a tangent.
Yes.
We love our tangents here.
The war crime.
Yeah. Yeah, so as people who are familiar with international law may or may not know, it's technically against the gene. I don't know what it's against, but I read it in a book somewhere. It's a war crime to pretend to surrender and then not surrender. That's illegal under international law. And I feel like Obi-Wan definitely knows that, and he still did it anyway.
Even if it is not illegal in Star Wars, it should be.
Yeah.
Because...
it's definitely it has to be against the Coruscant Accords or something.
It was just Obi-Wan who surrendered.
Because
it wasn't all of his men.
Well, but he did.
But now how can you...
He acted like he surrendered.
But how can you... Now how can the Separatists trust anytime the Republic surrenders?
And that's why it's a war crime.
Exactly.
Yeah, so Obi-Wan is a Jedi.
Well, luckily, they never knew that he surrendered because they captured everybody there.
Yeah, they did, but someone probably had got that on holo camera or something. That had to be recorded somewhere. Right?
Yeah, that's why the droids usually just kill everybody instead of taking prisoners.
Well, they have Republic prison, like the Citadel's prison.
Yeah.
It exists. The Separatists have prisons.
The Citadel exists.
They just keep them
They have one. They have one.
They've got one. So they keep them there for just as long as they need, and then they kill them.
No, we see they have prisons on their ship. They have those pirates on the Separatist ship later in season 1. But so Obi-Wan should know better, and he's supposed to be honorable Jedi. So
we expect that kind of stuff from Anakin.
Yeah. Yeah, like when Anakin does it in season 7, fine. But Obi-Wan should know better.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan should know better. Jedi Master. Soon to be on the Jedi Council, and he still commits war crimes. That's not okay.
No.
Oh, okay. So then after that, we have something else, probably.
I'm sure.
Yeah, Jedi-like. Okay.
Anakin handling that.
So, the Jedi Council sending Anakin to deal with the Hutts is pretty funny. They have a sense of humor. They're like, look at these people who used to have Anakin as a slave. Let's make him talk to them.
Yeah,
and
I think that's definitely why they sent Obi-Wan to do the negotiating,
right?
And Anakin to get the
Hutt. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it was also a test for Anakin, kind of with the Zygerians later, and obviously that one didn't go very well.
I feel like it's when a sports coach makes you do some crazy stuff, like run 50 laps or some crazy, and it's to help you grow. And it's no, they're just
hurting you.
Yeah, they're just hurting you.
I mean, the test should have been Ahsoka,
right?
They just gave him Ahsoka. And now they're gonna plop on his childhood trauma.
Yeah, it's this will help you grow, and it's just beating him up
Here's a kid for you
mentally
to take care of, and then
here's a 14-year-old child soldier. Keep her safe, and also deal with the people who used to own you.
Yeah.
See, sometimes you just think, was Order 66 deserved? Probably not, but then the Jedi do stuff like this, and you wonder, I could see it. I could see it.
Palpatine makes a good point.
Sometimes. But, yeah.
The Empire did nothing wrong.
Yeah, and so then we go to Teth.
Teth was amazing.
Teth was good.
An unbelievable landing, an unbelievable climb. So
that
fun.
Was really good action.
Building of Anakin and Ahsoka's relationship, climbing up that thing and everything.
Yeah.
That climbing up the cliffside is one of the most iconic moments from the Clone Wars show, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, definitely.
just the ATTs moving up was unbelievable.
Yeah, seeing them climb up the mountain, it was a mountain. Yeah, that looks really cool.
Yeah.
And that was where we get Battle Droid humor, which is
fire
actually...
Fire it. What? Just fire right there.
Yeah. And then I like when the spider droid like shoots something and the battle droid's like, good shot, boy. It's like he's a dog. And it does it like...
it nods. Also, we got the introduction of Ridge, who appeared in the Siege of Mandalore. Ridge was... before they come out of the LAT gunship, one of the clones says,
Ridge, your com's gone static. Got it.
Yeah,
I remember that.
And Ridge was one of the he was the casualty when Maul the guy who Maul impaled with.
He died?
Yeah.
Ridge is dead.
Ridge made it through all the way.
He survived the entire Clone Wars
until the Siege of Mandalore.
Right, that's kind of past the Clone Wars end though.
Maul impaled him.
Oh, on the ship, like when he's escaping. Oh, I did not notice that.
Dude,
pour a cold one out for Ridge.
Yeah, because one of the clones says like Ridge is gone or something like right after he does that.
Oh, I did not make that connection. Well, that's why I'm rewatching everything this summer.
Wow. That is so sad.
Yeah, that is sad, but like pretty cool.
That is awesome.
Hey, if there's a way to go, going up to Maul is a way to go.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure.
I mean, he would have died later on the ship.
How many clones can say they died to a Sith Lord?
Yeah, well, Maul's technically not a Sith Lord.
No. Yeah,
that's kind of great.
He was trying
to be one.
He was trying, but was he succeeding? Did Darth Maul ever do anything and succeed?
Kill Qui-Gon.
Yeah, but then he got killed by his Padawan.
Well, he didn't die.
Well, then he didn't die, but then he
created an insane criminal organization.
Yeah, I mean, he might as well have been dead. Like, honestly, he'd be better off dead.
Yeah.
He created an insane criminal organization.
Which got destroyed in like 2 weeks.
What? I'm talking about Crimson Dawn.
Oh, yeah, but like, no one cared about Crimson Dawn.
It was one of the major ones.
Yeah.
I wonder what happened to them after Maul.
We still don't know, and that's why there needs to be a solo show.
Yeah, there does need to be a solo show.
Or at least Akira, or...
Yeah, I've been saying I would like a Akira comic for a while, just because I feel like with how the solo box office was, they wouldn't want to like do more live action stuff, but like a comic book with like Kira and like that organization and everything, that'd be cool.
I still want to see a live action. I mean,
I would like to see a live action for sure.
I would love that.
I want all that cast to come back.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, but Ted was amazing.
Yeah,
just the whole Anakin, and then they get the Twilight.
Yeah, well, before that there was I forget what they were talking about, which is weird because I remember everything. Yeah, when Ahsoka and Anakin are talking in the temple, and Ahsoka is like telling Anakin about how she's trying to prove that she's like not too young to be his apprentice, and she's like worthy of whatever. And Anakin, I love how Anakin pulls out the Qui-Gon quote.
Yeah.
That was really cool, and I didn't pick up on that until I was obviously older because I had to because this was the first Star Wars movie that I saw, and so then watch everything else and then like watch it enough to where you make the connection.
Yeah.
But I like how he pulls out the Qui-Gon quote. It's like, a very wise Jedi once said, "Nothing happens by accident." I was like, that was I liked that a lot.
I like how that was an emote in Battlefront 2.
Yeah. Yeah, that was cool. And then they played like the Ahsoka's theme. I think they played that there.
Yeah,
it was a little.
That was also a really great use of it.
It was a good little moment there. I really liked that scene.
Yeah,
that might be that's one of my favorite scenes of the movie, but that's probably later. Qui-Gon Jinn gone too soon. I wanted to bring up before we go even further. The music too when they're climbing the cliffside. I just wanted to bring it up because. And the way I am with music.
Yeah.
And so I got the soundtrack, I think the Christmas of 2008 after the movie came out. I got the DVD and the soundtrack, and I remember loving that piece of music because I like rock music.
Yeah.
So.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So that music is like iconic to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I love how that's such a big thing with Star Wars. Like, growing up with it is like some of the best moments are like not even necessarily the movies or shows or like any of the stories themselves, but just like the stuff associated with it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, whether it's like playing video games or like playing with action figures, like that, like it was so iconic for like childhood stuff. Yeah, for sure.
Then what's next?
Essentially, just keep going in the battle, like them fighting Asajj for a bit. But then I love the Twilight. I love them getting that shit.
Yeah, that was cool. One of the things I love once they get the Twilight, and if we want to jump around, we can. It's not a big deal. But one of the things I love is when like Anakin tells Rex that they're going to come back, but then when they figure out that like Rada's sick, and so they can't. And he like says, like he tells Rex, and you can tell he like sounds sad.
Yeah, he's like, "Wow,
and
I want to come back for you."
Right, and Rex is like, "That's all right. The mission always comes first, sir." And like you, like once again,
that was a goodbye.
Yeah, once again, like I like when Star Wars remembers that it's like a war and that like people could die, and they really treat it like that.
Yeah,
and that's done so well in this movie.
Yeah, I do love right near that scene as well. With more battle droid humor, Rex is, "We got you outnumbered."
Yeah.
No, you don't. One, two,
three. Yeah, I love that. That's iconic.
I want to know if that other clone that was with Rex
I'm
made
pretty
it far.
sure we see him get shot.
Was that Ridge?
No. I think we see that clone get... No. I can't remember.
I don't remember.
I know there's like two of them.
Somebody punches a droid and gets killed.
I know it's him and Rex fighting for a while, and then one guy's blaster dies, and he jumps, and he gets absolutely murdered.
Yeah, he gets picked up by the Superman
droid
and shot, and then he like throws him.
Yeah.
No, because I thought at the end of the battle, it was just two clones left. It was Rex and someone else.
Well, there's like those two that we see, but there might have been others that we didn't see.
I think that was specifically Torrent Company.
Ridge might have gotten knocked out before he got to the Ridge, and then they picked him up later. He was like, "Sorry guys, what I missed." It's like everybody died.
yeah. The entire
all but two of us died.
We lost the entire company.
All 5 gunships of people dead, except you and Rex. But we accomplished the mission at least.
Anakin, and Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka got their job done. Took all the credit
too. What else? Oh yeah, when they fly the bug thing, the cancel, the giant dragonfly.
They're called cancels.
Of course you know what
cancel. I actually knew that, but I wanted to say giant dragonfly really badly.
Oh, you both knew. Okay, I had no idea.
I sort of knew. I like forgot, and then he said it. I was like, oh yeah, I remember that.
Okay.
But yeah, the cancel culture.
Yeah. You can make a very nice cancel action figure.
Yeah,
sure. There's an action figure.
There's an action figure cancel.
There is.
Oh my god, I need to look that
William
up.
has it. I've played with it. And it's a good time.
Dude, we always made them.
We
made them bad every time.
How do you spell it?
Yeah, we did.
They just eat some clones.
How do you spell it?
Literally like.
It's like cancel.
It's cancel.
No, it's not.
It's 2 L's, I think.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Just say cancel.
Action figure.
Or Star Wars cancel.
I mean, it's
figure.
But I like how Anakin gets that thing to let him ride him, and like I like how Anakin just being able to summon animals is just a thing.
Yeah.
Like he gets the Reek in Attack of the Clones, and he gets the cancel in this movie. Like,
yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, I like how that's just one of the things he can do is just like summon animals to do what he wants. I also like how in like the Obi-Wan and the Anakin comic, it shows that like he struggles to do that, but then he says like, I'll practice until I get it right, and it's like, yeah, he figured it out.
And they don't really like it doesn't really come back ever in the Clone Wars, does it?
Not that I can think of, but I feel like it probably will. I feel like we'll look back on this and be like, oh yeah, Anakin's riding an animal. I feel like it'll come back at some point.
Well, there was the unfinished Utapau arc, but he didn't like do anything
Yeah.
for the animal.
Yeah.
That was really funny though.
Yeah, that was a good time.
And then he could have maybe used that skill when those creatures attacked them on at the Citadel. I forget what they're called.
Yeah.
Those K9.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't know what they're called either. What are you looking at?
I'm trying to find the cancel figure.
Yeah.
I'll find it after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I tried to search for it, it said canceled action figures. Like,
and then see, I kept going canceled stuff, and I'm like, no, or cancel culture. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I just want to look at the cancel.
Cancel culture. That's it. When we do a video on Gina Carano, which we're never doing, but when we do that video, we'll just have a giant cancel as the thumbnail.
That'd be hilarious, actually. Cancel.
The cancel, like making an X over Gina Carano's face.
If ever someone gets fired from Lucasfilm or something.
Cancel. I like when the robot droid who's like filming what's happening, Ahsoka just murks him.
Yeah.
He was like,
"Don't you dare!" Dies.
Dies. Yeah. And then
the Obi-Wan versus Asajj was very awesome.
Yeah,
too.
that was a cool fight.
And he is so casual in that fight too, because he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
So well.
I remember because they advertised that like in the trailers and stuff, that fight. Mm-hmm. I remember being confused as a kid because I thought it was going to be an adaptation of the Clone Wars micro series.
That's so funny. Finish your thought, because I have something really funny to
And so I was like, wait, Ahsoka's fighting Obi-Wan. Shouldn't she be fighting Anakin? Because
are you talking about Asajj?
Yeah.
You said Ahsoka.
Yeah.
That's what. Yeah.
He meant Asajj.
Yeah.
Because your guys' era of Star Wars was like 2008.
Yeah.
Mine was 2005.
Yeah.
So I had the Clone Wars micro series and stuff. I was also really confused that she was alive. And I bet a lot of other people were too.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing is she doesn't even
die
in that one either.
But it seems like it because she's never in that show again.
Yeah.
When I first watched the volumes, I thought that they were an adaptation of this movie, and so it starts off like close enough because there's like cannons and it's a city planet, and I was like, okay. And then the dirge stuff happens. I'm like, whoa, that didn't happen in the movie. Mind blown.
The dirge stuff happens. It's so funny. And then this guy just pops off on these people.
Then he has like a lance, and then he just like destroys cannons with it.
That show was wild.
That show, we will have to talk about that show, because that's a good time.
I loved how that there's a whole unit of clones dedicated to basically jousting.
Yeah, that's
like, how often do they get why were they
there?
Why were they there? How often do they get
They're
used?
just equipped. They were ready just in case.
The Republic High Command has unreal foresight. They're very good at knowing what might happen.
They had intelligence that many Lancer droids were being sent.
Okay, let's be honest. There's like 100,000 gunships on Moonalist. Like
100,000.
You could see it in the show.
You think 100,000?
You could see it in the show.
That is an unbelievable amount of guns.
Even for that show.
100,000.
100,000. 1,000.
That is
somewhere in there.
I was thinking like
how
10,000.
Okay, 10,000.
10,000 is so different than 100,000.
There's like 1 0 difference. There's 1 0 difference between 10,000 and 100,000. 1 0 difference. Okay, 10,000. Let's go with 10,000. Because William will be nice if I say 10,000.
Okay, yeah.
They had 10,000 gunships. They just had everyone there. Everyone was on Moonless. So like, if for some reason there had been like 100 years flood, the Aqua Troopers were like just waiting in the gunship, just waiting
they
for
were
it.
like, God.
Like, we have to take Moonless.
100 years flood in 10 minutes.
The Aqua Troopers were standing by. They're like, please let it. They're like, pray. They're doing a rain dance in the back of the gunship.
That's so funny. Like, come on, baby, we want in. And then they got diverted to calamari.
Yeah, with Kit Fisto.
Yep.
Shirtless Kit Fisto.
Chad Kit Fisto.
Chad Fisto. Yeah.
But yeah, the Obi-Wan and Asajj fight is really good. I like how Asajj's strategy is to take clothes off and throw them at Obi-Wan. That's pretty good strategy.
I love how while they fight, they both flirt with each other.
Yeah.
It happens a lot.
The sexual tension between Obi-Wan and Asajj is palpable.
It is there.
Like, Quinlan Vos stole Obi-Wan's girl. Obi-Wan was just like...
Well, Maul stole Obi-Wan's girl.
Well, technically, life. yeah. Like, think about Obi-Wan here. Like, so, Satine, obviously, main person. Then, he's always, like, hoping, well, if Asajj would just come to the light side, that would be good. Maybe, yeah. So then, Satine dies. Big sad. Asajj comes to the light side. Obi-Wan has hope again. And then Quinlan Vos just swoops in.
It's Quinlan Wood.
That's Quinlan Wood. And Obi-Wan's like, "Wait, weren't you married?" And Quinlan's like, "Nah, that you have a bad memory."
Yeah, that's a different timeline.
He's like,
"No." Like the Chad he is.
Yeah, Chad Quinlan Vos swoops in.
Chad Quinlan Vos versus Virgin
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
And that might be literally correct.
It could be. Although, I think Obi-Wan and Satine.
Definitely.
Yeah.
There needs to be a book, honestly. not like
I know what you meant.
It sounded bad.
I know what you meant.
It sounded bad. But
you're not going to get away with that.
No, I just wanted a book about their time together.
Oh, yeah, I bet you do. You want to hear all about their time together.
Yeah, when they're fighting the bounty hunters.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Have Claudia Gray write it.
Oh, excellent.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She's a really amazing writer. And I mean that seriously on every level.
Yeah. For sure.
Every purpose I would need.
Anyway.
Yeah.
See, these are the tangents we live for.
Yeah.
This is
what
if you don't like tangents, this might not be the podcast for you. But if you like them, yes.
This is absolutely.
So they get on the ship, flying in the twilight.
They're going,
and then they just have a holographic doctor droid.
I know, that's awesome.
That would be so convenient. Imagine if you just had one of those like in your car.
Yeah, it's like
kid is sick, and then they're just like,
oh, put this pill in it.
Yeah.
Especially during a pandemic.
Yeah. Also,
that would have been really helpful.
Yeah. I'm envisioning. I also like how they had the medicine for him just on the ship.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about Jabba the Hutt like 200 years ago, like passing a law that like every ship that's in Hutt space has to have Hutt medicine.
Yes.
Just in case something were to come up.
How old is Rada?
I don't think we know.
I don't think we know either, but I would think...
Is Rada like 50 like Grogu?
He could be, but
he's
also then we figured out that Grogu is more communicative
than we thought. He's not just a baby necessarily.
Right. Because he's a baby in some ways, but not like he can talk through the Force. So that's
where Rada did seem.
Rada seems like he's just a baby.
Yeah.
Species age differently.
Yeah, for sure. And that's one of the things we'll talk about that when we get to Mando eventually. But that's one of the things I liked about how they showed that with Grogu's, because like everything ages. Like it's obviously different species would develop differently.
Yeah,
for sure. But yeah, so you gotta love the random Doctor Droid just there.
Yeah.
Hologram, not actual one.
They actually also, speaking of Doctor, the 2-1Bs, in Zero's palace on Coruscant.
I always forget that part of the movie exists. Like, even when I watch it, I'm watching the movie, and I'm like, okay, now we just got to get to Tatooine, and then it's over. And then, comes up, and like, oh, yep, this plot.
And then, but he has a 2-1B bartender droid.
Yeah, he does. feel like you could get a better bartender droid than that.
Yeah, that's kind of, I mean, dude, medical emergency happens, that thing's ready.
That's like if
someone's intoxicated too much.
If someone has alcohol poisoning,
yeah, exactly.
You're taken care of.
Or you just have one of his IG-86s just shoot him.
Other than that, probably someone else could do the job better.
Yeah.
The medical droids just show up and they're taking our jobs, man.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough out there.
Taking our jobs.
Sorry, I was in my head when you were saying that music part from Zero's Palace. Well, the way you sang reminded me of Luke and Leia's theme. It was bothering me that it sounded familiar.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Zero is a character. I like Zero.
I like Zero a lot.
You don't like Zero? He doesn't like Zero. Throw him out. Throw him out.
I could have done without Zero.
I like Zero.
He was decent in the movie, but then when you get to the other stories...
Oh my god, he's so funny.
Yeah, the whole other, 1.5 episodes of Clone Wars.
The episode where he dies with Sice Noodles is like, well, I can't stand that.
I like that episode.
I love that episode.
I love the Quinlan Vos stuff.
That's most of the episode, and then Zero dies. I don't see the issue here.
Zero did die.
You didn't like interspecies kissing? Do you have a problem with that?
Well, Sice Noodles.
Do you have a problem with that?
Sice Noodles
Do you have a problem with
weird.
that? You don't enjoy interspecies kissing?
Well, no one said you had to enjoy it. Now we're talking about you.
Okay.
Do you enjoy it?
No, I don't enjoy it.
Now the tables have turned. You played yourself in that sentence. Yeah. But
I know you were talking about you love the Magna Guard fighters and everything.
Yeah.
That's a really cool design. I think so too.
And then the sound that their guns make too.
Yeah.
Is I really like that sound.
I forget the sound.
No. Well, I would do it, but I feel like that wouldn't really do it justice.
Do you know what it's called?
It's called dun 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 dun.
The Magna Guard blaster you said?
No,
well, they're fighters.
They're fighters.
Oh, okay.
That the sound that their ship blasters
Xanadu
make.
blood.
Yeah, Xanadu. I think it's Xanadu.
Xanadu blood.
Yeah. William's old and he's never learned how to read.
That's true.
Not Xanadu. Xanadu blood's Cad Bane's fighter.
Yeah.
Yes, but it is
It's that
kind. It's the same type of
same
fighter.
type of ship.
Oh.
So dope that he has that, actually.
Yeah, and it's green and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a very cool ship. And they made an action figure for that.
I know.
That's pretty cool. What a time.
Still need to get a pilot for it.
You have
only have 2 Cad Banes.
You only have 2 Cad Banes?
I only have 2 Cad Banes.
Didn't they make more than 2 Cad Banes?
Made... Yeah, that's why I need to get more.
You don't have all the Cad Banes?
I know. I don't have all the Cad Banes.
How is that?
It's
How is that possible? How could this happen? We're smarter than this.
Apparently not.
Got 30 Vaders, but only 2.
See, we're gonna do so many quotes from Revenge of the Sith that they're gonna copyright strike us for Revenge of the Sith.
But yeah, that whole scene was awesome, and then them just wandering through the desert and trying to poke into Anakin's past is just such a huge moment.
Yeah, I almost wish they would have gotten a little bit more into it, but I think how it was cool too.
Yeah, and then just the end fight scene. Anakin versus Dooku and Ahsoka versus the Magna Guards.
Yeah, I thought that Ahsoka versus Magna Guards was good for her because it was shut up.
I was not expecting that.
Keep them on their toes.
She's young and inexperienced, but
right. Well, and she's brand new.
Yeah.
It's that was a good challenge for her with the 3 Magna Guards. And then Anakin fighting Dooku, I love that fight.
Yeah. Surrender the hut, let her die, Skywalker.
And then, the music that plays there, too. Yeah, very good.
And Christopher Lee's back as Dooku.
Yeah. Yeah, like how they had him as Dooku and Samuel L. Jackson for, the 2 lines Mace has in this movie. Imagine how much they probably paid him. Probably wasn't that much, but it was, probably a good amount for, 3 lines.
It might have even been like the most or second most. It might have been like Christopher Lee and Samuel Jackson as the most expensive.
Yeah, and when they do Christopher Lee did a decent amount.
Yeah,
but Samuel Jackson's barely in the movie.
Yeah.
But
that is just such a amazing fight, and it's great, and how he threatens that Ahsoka might be dead, and
yeah, well, and I like how he taunts him about his past on Tatooine. It would have been cool if they had revealed in this show that Dooku had gotten the Tuskens to kill Anakin's mom, because that's a theory that is out there, that Dooku went to that village and paid the Tuskens, or in some way got them to take Anakin's mom to manipulate that whole situation.
I think I've read somewhere.
What? That seems so early.
I think I read somewhere that was an idea that George Lucas had in Revenge of the Sith or something.
Yeah.
That it was either Dooku or Palpatine.
Yeah.
Orchestrated it.
That'd be insane.
Yeah. Well, because think about if it had been a couple months before Attack of the Clones, if Dooku had done that to manipulate, or probably, Palpatine would have told him to.
Yeah. But
to manipulate Anakin and bring him closer to the dark side, it would have been. Imagine if Dooku had said that in that moment when they're on Tatooine, that he had done that. While that would have been cool. But that would have been a whole other can.
That would have been so much stuff there. I don't think Anakin would have left to go after Ahsoka.
No, I agree. I think that would have opened a whole other can of worms if that had happened. So, but if it could have fit in there somehow, that would have been cool.
Yeah. I also loved how protective Anakin was of Ahsoka, right away.
Yeah, I liked that.
I agree.
That was good.
Because he's only had her as an apprentice for not very long.
Right, for sure.
They're already connected, and you just get to see that where he rushes in and he's like, "Where's my Padawan?"
Yeah. I also like how they're just gonna execute them even though they're brought back.
Yeah, they brought them.
Just kill them anyway. No one will notice.
We're not gonna go to war with the Republic.
Yoda and Obi-Wan show up where's Ahsoka and Anakin? And Jabba's like, who? New phone, who this?
Yeah.
New food bowl / transmitter as it is.
He's got it all.
Dude, that one thing is both, that has his whatever he eats in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
That same thing, that's the transmitter.
Yeah.
He has
and a hookah.
He has a device that is a food bowl, a hookah, and a transmitter, and it's one thing.
One thing.
That is the ultimate flex.
It is.
Jabba the Hutt is the ultimate flex.
Yeah.
He eats, smokes, and is on his phone all at once.
All with one device.
Yep.
That's insane.
It's like a jewel on a phone that dispenses food tablets.
That's insane. You have to. You've got to love it. You've got to love it.
Yeah.
And then we get the good old Star Wars movie photo ending
which was just perfect.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
It's good. It was very nice of Jabba to bring his fat self out to pose.
The main area. The door.
Yeah,
the entrance.
he went all the way to the door to take that picture.
They probably carried him.
I mean, yeah, but he still had to balance while he was carried.
Yeah.
Have you ever been carried on a chair? It's you have to not fall out.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to think about that.
Yeah. So
it's no nap time.
Yeah.
You have to be ready. Things can happen in that.
It's called a dace, right?
Yeah.
Don't
I think something like that. Dais.
It's D-A-I-S. I know how it's spelled. I don't know how it's pronounced.
Gotcha.
But
yeah.
It probably hovers.
Yeah, it probably does. Or Jabba would just make people carry him.
Jabba does seem like the kind of guy.
He would we could make it hover, or people could just carry me. I don't see why we wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
That's how we did it when I was a kid, so that's how we're gonna do it now.
Oh, we're talking about Jabba's dad, Zorba?
Oh, God.
Are we getting into the Jedi Prince series?
No, we are not getting into the Jedi Prince series.
Oh, yeah.
Ever. Wow. Oof,
why can we not talk about Trioculus?
You're getting canceled.
No. I love the Jedi Prince
You also brought up that from the
See, the idea of the first episode of this podcast is that people like us, and when you say stuff like that, that doesn't help.
No, there's gotta be someone out there who wants to talk about.
I mean, there are plenty of people out there who would like to hear it get made fun of.
No, I don't want to do that because I actually.
When we get to if we ever do Jedi Prince, it'll just be me and you just arguing about if it's not good.
Anyway, I was reminded of Zero the Hutt's mom.
Oh yeah,
that was another part of that episode.
Yeah.
That was good too. I
love
liked
that
her.
part.
She was
Hey,
pretty cool.
mama.
Yeah, that was.
Can I borrow your speeder?
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I already want to punch you.
the only thing worse than Zero's actual voice is you trying to do Zero's voice.
Sorry about that.
But yeah, so it's a good ending to that movie. So, what was your guys' favorite part of the movie?
Dude, so difficult. Battle of Christosis, the beginning of Teth, Anakin versus Dooku. They're all just.
What about like more specific moments?
More specific, like literally.
But I'm more specific than the Battle of Christophsis.
Yeah, because that's like a third of the movie.
The very first scene where all the clones are in a line and they have to do the charge, and Anakin jumps and takes out the octave charge.
That's really good scene.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
Him talking to Ahsoka, saying that you wouldn't make it as Obi-Wan.
I think that's my number one.
That is so good. And I don't know, I will randomly be walking sometimes, and I'll just go, surrender the Huttlet or die, Skywalker.
I would make fun of you right now, but I definitely do the same thing. I definitely thought about that so much as like a kid growing up. I thought about being Anakin in that situation so many times.
Surrender the Huttlet or die.
Like, he sounds so menacing.
Yeah, he
like,
does.
That was, like, he sounds like he was going to mess him up if he didn't do it. Like, I probably would have just given him the hut. I would have been scared. Like, okay, here you go.
But yeah, that's definitely...
And then the music there, too.
Yeah, it's a powerful scene. I don't know. It's just... I got a lot of favorite parts, I would say.
Yeah.
I think my standouts are basically the Anakin and Ahsoka moments.
Yeah,
those
definitely.
are my
those are
standouts.
good. So, Casey, would you say your favorite was the might not have made it as Obi-Wan's battle? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's your favorite. What would you say yours is? Will?
My ultimate favorite moment?
Yep.
Here, while you think of that, I was just going to bring up that I got goosebumps when we watched that scene, so yeah, that's my favorite.
Yeah, that's fair. I would say while you're still thinking, I would say my favorite scene has to be the street fighting on Christophsis at the beginning, 'cause just with how it captures the
Clone War,
the Clone War, and like the feeling that like this is really a thing that's happening where people die, and it's like, you know, super intense and scary, but still like really exciting to watch. But and like really brutal. Like there's a bunch of really brutal deaths that really like drive home like that it's a real war. It's something that I think I would love Star Wars to like focus more on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'll have to go with Anakin saying, "Follow me." I love that so much.
That's one of my more iconic moments. Like
that's definitely that's a very iconic moment for that movie.
Yeah.
So, what would you guys say you give the movie out of 10?
I'm giving it a 10. That's just, first off, I love the movie. I think it's amazing, and there's definitely also just, I have so much nostalgia. This is what got me into Star Wars, so it's always gonna like reign up top.
Yeah. I think that's where I'm at too. I think I have to give it a 10 as well for the same reasons, my intro to Star Wars. And I think that if it came out now, I probably wouldn't give it a 10, but I would still give it a pretty high grade. And with it being like kind of my intro to the franchise, and I still really enjoy watching it now, I definitely would keep it with a 10.
Seeing as it's not my introduction, I think I'll give it about a 7.
Big loser guy.
I guess I am.
Yeah, you're very much being kicked out of the like.
Wait,
Casey,
wait till we get to later Clone Wars.
You will not be hearing from Casey anymore after this.
Casey's gonna have to take like 3 episodes.
I'm gonna have to learn to edit. And that was the biggest laugh of the show, was me learning how to edit. I feel really good about myself now.
No, but like that, like it is really, and I think even just rewatching that the Battle of Christophsis again, like it bumped up actually.
Yeah.
So.
It's such.
Yeah, it's really good.
But yeah.
And this was the first Star Wars movie that I saw in theaters.
Yeah.
And probably you guys too.
Well, it definitely was for us because this was the first Star Wars anything that I'd ever seen anywhere.
Yeah. I wasn't allowed to watch Revenge of the Sith in theaters because it was PG-13.
Yeah.
That rule didn't last very long, but, but I do remember a time where I couldn't watch it because I wasn't 13 yet.
That's funny.
And then I was 2 years old for Attack of the Clones, so no way I'm remembering that.
Right. You don't have Leia's memory.
No. I don't remember being born.
Being born.
I do not have memory of being born.
All right. Well, I think that we are good for this episode. Unless anyone has any final thoughts.
I don't think so.
I don't think I do.
Nope.
All right. So this has been fun. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. And maybe we'll even do it again soon-ish.
Yeah, we can do it whenever. It doesn't have to be in person.
Yeah, because we can do it over Discord and stuff.
Cool.
So,
all right.
Try to, if we could shoot for like every 2 weeks, over Discord and whatever.
Yep.
And maybe that doesn't work out, but
Yeah, we'll shoot for it.
If we could do that, that'd be pretty cool. Because the more we do it, the more different things we can talk about, and so be fun to be hitting like books and comics and games and all that stuff.
Yeah. I want to talk about Legacy.
Yeah.
Talk about my boy Cade.
Yeah, but the only other thing I do want to say is that the next episode will be our 100 subscribers special, which is a little bit late because we've had over 100 for a month or so now. Which big shout out to anyone who watches us, especially if you watched all the way through this, because this has been a good chunk of time. But
long. We're about an hour and a half in.
Yeah, so big shout out if you made it this far. But we are excited about having 100 subscribers. Obviously, there's a few YouTube channels who have more than 100 subscribers. But
just a few.
We're at 118 right now.
Right. Yeah. I saw that today. So there's a few who have more than us, but we're really grateful to have that many. I mean, it's triple digits, so we're kind of excited. So we're gonna do 100 subscriber special. So we're gonna do this kind of a long podcast format. We're gonna do this for A New Hope. And our goal is for each time we get 100 more subscribers, we'll do the next Star Wars movie by release order. So we'll do Empire Strikes Back for 200 subs and Return of the Jedi for 300 and so on. So if you guys have any interest in that, then tell all of your Star Wars loving friends about us so that we can get some subscribers and get those out to you because we're really excited about all of that. So with that, I think we're all good.
Yeah, thank you for listening.
Yep, thank you very much. And as always, may the Force be with you.
Always.